What's poppin', y'all? It looks like the golden age of streaming is dead because a conversation got completely blown out of proportion with an NBA player and one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, that is Your Rage. So the context of this all started at a streamer baby shower, where this is high school, like I told you guys. Like, you guys remember streamer prom, where everybody was invited, they dressed up, and this got turned into an ad by Popeyes because Funny Mike had signed that in the agreement because they were one of the sponsors, and then these like fake meals came out, or meals that weren't officially promoted by the streamers, and then later on that same year that happened. But yeah, this is like high school. They've got all their own events, which I actually think is cool, and it's good for the kids too. But these two streamers, or well, one of them's not really a streamer. This guy Jay Cinco, who's cool with DDG for a very long time, and he's in the streaming community. He was a rapper for a while too, from LA. He was throwing a baby shower for himself and Lala Baptiste, his girlfriend, now fiance. Spoiler alert, he would propose to her there while everything cut off because of the production. And during this, everybody was invited, all these streamers, famous people, etc. And Your Rage had a conversation with Lonzo Ball, and he decided to tell his community about them.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Something this weekend ruined my mood for, like, I don't know if, like, gang. Some of y'all already know about it if you was paying attention to the streams. That conversation I had with Lonzo Ball, bro. I don't know. That killed all motivation inside me, gang. Oh my God. I see this. Yo, bro, I have to talk to this nigga about, because he's the only person I know that has the same problem as me. Got the same, literally to the T procedure as me, with the same surgeon, the Chicago Bulls head surgeon. And he told me to this, because I told him, I'm like, yo, bro. He's like, what month are you on your recovery? I'm like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, I'm on month 11. Oh, no, I'm on month like 8, 9. He's like, it still hurt, don't it? I'm like, yeah. I was like, does your knee still hurt? Because it's been like 3 years, bro. That nigga said, that shit never went away, gang. That shit still swell up. I'm like, no, no. And we was talking, I was like, yo, bro. Because even he said the same shit, niggas think he bullshit. Like how niggas on the internet be thinking I'm bullshit. And there's nothing we could do, gang. Like that nigga literally can't play, and it probably mad at him that he not playing. He literally can't play. It's so annoying, bro. But
so here, Your Rage is talking to Lonzo Ball about his knee issue. So some context here is that Your Rage has had a knee issue, which I don't know where it stemmed from. I don't know if it was an ACL or an MCL tear. One of the Your Rage fanboys will leave a comment below. And I appreciate you guys for doing that. I don't mean that in a derogatory term. But this got posted on social media, and this has been something that Your Rage has struggled with a lot, knee pain. So he got surgery over a year ago. I think it was 12, 13 months ago, and he used this surgery and took advantage of it and had this whole series on Twitch where he would have different caretakers, popular streamers. One of them was a not so popular streamer that was on the come up, this guy Corey2U, who was one of the standouts of Kai Cenat's Streamer University, because this guy dropped out of real university with no viewers to apply to Streamer University. And by no viewers, I mean like 5 viewers. And he blew up after that, got invited to Your Rage's thing, and Your Rage had several caretakers. So he couldn't even walk without crutches for many, many months. Now he's able to walk a little bit, and he wanted to ask Lonzo, who had an issue with his knee, in the NBA, like, what was going on? And he's sharing that. And a bunch of people on X are, because this clip gets posted, of course it's going to get posted, but it gets posted, and then everyone's arguing like, man, this guy's messing up his deal. Yo, he should have known. He was talking to a big live stream audience about this. And here I am just thinking like, wow, this is sad. And the reason why I say the golden age of streaming is dead is because Your Rage hopped on there to live stream like he had been accustomed to for many years of his life, and just talk it out with his community, tell him some things about him. That's how this bond is built. Yes, it is parasocial to a degree, but I think there's a healthy amount of parasocial. Like, even for a character in a movie that we know an actor is playing, you get attached to the show, a show more so. I'm more of a TV series kind of guy, especially when I was younger, than a movie kind of guy. But a TV series, you get invested in the character character. You're like, damn, I want him to win. Or let me give you guys the perfect example. Skylar from Breaking Bad. You just want her to be exterminated. You know she's not real, but there's like a parasocial thing going on there. So that's what streaming is. Like, there's people that are hopping on their computer and there's people watching them and they share stuff. And that's how they grew that audience and community. Well, nowadays, that gets posted on social media, and this is how Your Rage reacted to it.
Yeah.
Research on that.
Why the I'm getting flamed up by some losers on Twitter because I said, I don't even want to bring it up again. Cause bro, I told him that I'm sad. I can't use my knees. He goes, you're a streamer. Why are you sad? You can't use your... What the be wrong with y'all? Like, don't want to do... I want to be able to run, jump, squat, and work and... Bro, you're a streamer, bro. Back groceries. Why do you need your knees? Imagine I tell you you don't need your knees because you bag groceries.
So the problem here is, and this is something that academics has had to deal with as well. Somebody who streamed, I think he started streaming on his PS4, was it? Like over 10 years ago. When you're streaming you're like, okay, this is a safe space where I get to just talk to my community. And then over time, it turned into where academics, granted, he is the biggest source within hip hop. He's broken a lot of news. So now there are people that are watching his stream that are not community members of his, that don't mess with them. Some of them are hate watchers. Some of them are just watching for information. And some of them are purely watching for hoping he crashes out, which, let's keep it a buck, that's some of his most entertaining content. It's not his best content. The best content is when he talks about how the inner workings of the music industry. But back in the day, he used to just be able to talk crazy, talk personal, do all of these different things that he didn't have to worry about because it was just, okay, it's me and the guys that are watching me. Same thing with Your Rage. Like, you could say Your Rage was even parasocial, quote unquote, to start, because I think in the start of his journey, he was watching streamers such as Soluminati, as well as Flight Reacts. I believe Flight Reacts, and he was clipping Soluminati. I know that for sure. He was like a plug channel, which is what these new clipping guys are doing, just in short form, and they are destroying it, to be frank. But hey, listen, I respect their hustle. They're doing their thing. They found an opportunity, gap in the market, and they're pushing for it. But Your Rage, he was watching these guys, and to be able to clip them, you had to watch them a lot. And then over time, he starts building up his own community. At one point, I would say during 2020, 2021, Your Rage's community was the most powerful on Twitter. Like, he would ratio anybody. And I think the funniest thing about ratios is that all it means is that you have a very active child audience, because grown people are not spending that much time and they're not following somebody to just like ratio them. Like, you look at some of the most impactful figures in this world, they will probably get ratioed by 2020, 2021, Your Rage, or hell, I don't know, like, let me think of some other figures off the top of my head. Tommy Innit. Yeah, Tommy Innit probably at his peak would have been able to ratio anybody. Does that mean any point that he had was correct? Absolutely not. He just had a bunch of people that were active, that followed him, that were willing to hit like and see him win something. So that's just a little bit of side note on ratios. But he built his community on not oversharing, but, being a little bit vulnerable, telling stories that happened in his life. But now you're forcing the streamer, and that's why I say this was the golden age. Now the streamer is forced to, number one, address these things, but also panic and have to behave in a politician's manner, where they have to think of every single sentence that they're going to say, and they have to anticipate, can what I'm about to say be used against me or anybody that I'm mentioning, and how can it be spun by clippers? And this raises your anxiety levels. Like, you're constantly anxious because did I just say the wrong thing? Oh man, you can't say don't clip that, because that's the exact moment that's going to get clipped. And this is the difference between plug channels, I would say, and the clipping economy right now, is that plug channels were usually fans of the channel, and they're not going to want to make the person look bad. They're definitely not going to lie and take things out of context to make the person look bad. And the majority of people that were watching plug channels were watching because they were also fans of the streamer. Like, for example, this guy Drill 420, who I believe he works for academics now on his King Academics channel. This guy would post videos of academics. You wouldn't watch these videos unless you followed academics. Same thing with Soluminati. Like, when Your Rage or anybody else that was posting clips of him. You wouldn't watch them unless you were a Soluminati viewer. The difference is now that on X and these other platforms is that people follow these aggregator channels, and the people that are watching this Your Rage clip don't watch Your Rage. They might not watch any streams. So they see this clip and then now they're giving their opinion. And now you get to this point now where, I don't know, is Lonzo Ball going to be upset with Your Rage? Because if this ends up going up the tree, right? Because some people were also saying, man, that you don't think the NBA medical team knows this. Well, there's important context to be had here, because there's a level of detail, right? Like, how many times has somebody told you about, like, yo, I had this issue and I had this pain and I went to the doctor and they told me I was fine, but I know I'm not fine. I feel the pain. I feel terrible. And I went to multiple doctors and they didn't know what to do. And then eventually I found out exactly what it was. That's a similar situation. So let's say Lonzo Ball, if he has a clean bill of health, right? Like, there's what the doctors are able to see and there's what Lonzo Ball is feeling. So there is this gap where Lonzo Ball could tell people, because I don't know, let's say his contract is up or something, he wants to get a good deal. He could tell them that he's fine, he doesn't feel any pain, and they may check and say, okay, well, it looks like he's healthy, but he could be feeling that pain. So there is this gap that people act like, oh, just because there's a reason why doctors ask questions, even though they can do scans. They still ask the questions because they need to know your response. So if this harms, let's say this would harm Lonzo Ball, then we get to the point where Lonzo Ball is hitting Your Rage up like, yo, I told you that story, this and that. And then Your Rage is like, well, you know, I didn't mean for this to go that big, which he didn't. And then now suddenly you're stressing another relationship for what? And this isn't Your Rage's fault. This isn't Lonzo's fault. This is the quote unquote Clippers' fault, but more than the Clipper, because the Clipper is just sharing the post. It's people that are quoting the Clippers. So really it's the person that was never supposed to see the content in the first place that is ruining everything, because they're just going to act, they already have a negative disposition towards streamers. That's one thing I've noticed a lot, is the people that are replying on X, they hate streamers. Like, you get lists of people that are dropping like, oh, yo, if you watch any of these people, like, you're goofy. How do people even watch this? But you're like, you're engaging with this all the time. And they're naming streamers that are entertaining, making innovative, cool content, like Blackboy Max, that guy Lacey. I don't watch most of these guys. For example, I will watch certain clips of Blackboy Max when he's doing things that I find entertaining or cool, like certain in the booth stuff. Maybe if he's at a live event or a show or something like that. But if he's on a date, quote unquote, which is just like kind of like a promotional video stream with some music artist, I don't really care for that. Like, he was doing something with like Ira Star. I don't know who that is, but I know that I'm supposed to know who that is. Like, I know her music is doing something right now. I just haven't tapped into it. I'm not going to watch that. Lacey, that guy, I'm not really going to watch. It's not for me. But these guys are working really hard and they're making some cool stuff, as opposed to some other people they may have on that list. That's just, I can understand why they would get a ton of hate. So this ruins it for the streamer, because now the streamer's behaving in a different way than they naturally do. The viewer understands that because they've spent so much time watching the streamer that they're like, yo, why is this guy behaving this way? So they can either choose to behave differently or constantly have to deal with BS headlines. Some of them just choose to deal with the BS headlines. And some people, you see them malfunction in real time, like Valkyrie. Like, she talked about like how she's just getting nonstop hate now. Yeah, well, she's getting nonstop hate because she is being introduced to a lot more people that don't watch her and don't like her than she was several years ago. And it's by no doing of her own. Like, that's why I'm saying that golden age of streaming is over. Now, for the viewer, oh man, you get more drama, more entertainment. If you're a viewer of a specific streamer, if you watch streaming as a whole, this is great for you. So you could say it is the golden age to be young and watching streams right now, because when I was young and watching streams, man, it was, number one, IRL wasn't even, when I was 14 years old, 15, the IRL category wasn't even a thing. And even when it first started, it was just like kind of ragtag scuff type of stuff, which is cool looking back on it now. Now it's just like TV. But think about it. Like, if you're a little kid, if I was 10 years old, Kai Cenat would have been the coolest thing in the world. Like, you're seeing a guy bring on celebrities. Like, imagine we're in the 2000s and there's a kid, or just iCarly, right? Like, imagine you're getting 50 Cent on iCarly. You're getting Eminem on iCarly. You're getting, who else? Who else was pop? You're getting Britney Spears on iCarly. It's mind blowing. or maybe you're getting like you're getting those, and you're also getting people from the 80s. Like you get Aerosmith pull up to iCarly. That's what casting out was for these kids. So can't really blame them. They get a bunch of good entertainment. Now, how much will this rot their brains watching Rakai? I don't know. But hey, listen, as long as it keeps them away from the drugs, right? Oh yeah, I also wanted to add this in that it's almost better to be a smaller streamer with a small community now, because these clip pages are not incentivized to talk about you because nobody knows your name. So you get to keep your little community, but once you blow up, you used to be able to like, okay, you blew up, now you're making a ton more money, your community's bigger, and you just get to do cooler stuff. Like Ludwig, for instance, he spent a ton of money on different events and stuff, and despite what I say about certain actions he's done very cool things. I can be objective about that. Now, when you get that big, it's not even a reward, it's a curse, because now everybody's watching you. It's kind of like being in local elections versus now you're fighting in a national election, or you're not in your zip code anymore. Now you're like governor or senator, and then, God forbid, or no, mayor, and then governor, and then governor or senator, and then God forbid you're running for president. Everything just gets worse and everything is being scrutinized. But I just had to add that at the end. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.